had a smaller size of SEC matchups. One of them that took center stage, of course, was the 2:30 kickoff there at Alabama. It was the college game day game. Johnny Manziel in the house.
Yep.
Nick Saban, of course, McAfee, and everybody there for Alabama and Vanderbilt. Gerhard, a lot of hoopla over there in T-Town.
Of course. I mean, especially after what happened last year. It was Kalen DeBoer's first year, first time Vanderbilt had, beaten Alabama. Alabama had just vaulted to #1 in the nation after knocking off Georgia 7 days before.
Yep.
So you had all of these elements going into last year, and then the star quarterback for them a year ago, Diego Pavia, who put up 400-plus yards on Bama, 40 points on Bama in that big win. He's now making his return. He's now a celebrity.
Talking trash.
Theo Vaughn was the guy that was the celebrity guest picker. So it just...
It's his mom's girlfriend or something.
Yeah. And they showed his mom 15 million times.
Literally, could they have shown her one more time? I don't think they. I think we saw her more than Kalen DeBoer.
But it had all the elements of exactly what you want. Had some celebrity, had some payback. It was Bama. Bama's on this nice little surge right now. Bama was a big favorite in the game, but Vandy played really well as well. So it was awesome.
Yeah, the final score in this one, of course, was 30-14, and it's a close game and a close score. I don't even know if it's as close. The score, it maybe doesn't even really tell the true tale. If you didn't watch this game, wow, there was definitely a regular back and forth. Ty Simpson looked very, very, very good. He has looked prolific at times when he has been perfect in certain games. He looked good against Georgia, and then I felt like that continued. Of course, he did have the mistake, right? So he did have a turnover. I think that was Alabama's first one of the year.
Yeah.
Well, that's not too dang bad. If you get, 5 games in, you haven't turned the ball over, and you've already played Georgia, that's pretty good. And it was one of those where, you've probably maybe been a little too aggressive. What stood out to me more than anything is, of course, the turnovers by Vanderbilt in the red zone. So it's not like Vanderbilt didn't do good things. Vanderbilt played really, really well. Yeah. It's just, wow. It begs the question, did guys have a little bit of extra oomph when, I don't know, just because Diego Pavia is on the other side. And there was a lot of trash talking. And I'm not saying that the effort changes, but even Nick Saban said there is revenge on the mind in this game. And then when Nick Saban says that, those guys are chomping at the bit to tackle this guy harder, to just be more dialed in when it comes to game prep. And I feel like that played out in the most significant moments for Vanderbilt trying to go into the end zone.
Yeah, I think the messaging all week is usually a lot of coach speak. And you kind of have to talk out of both sides of your mouth. Like, hey, we're energized. We're all get up for this game. We're taking it one game at a time.
Sure.
It's a 1-0 week and all that kind of stuff. And so you almost have to balance the emotions that come with, we want to crush these guys that beat us last year, with the, hey, let's just play disciplined football because our disciplined football will give us the best opportunity to go out and get a win in this football game. But you're right. It wasn't like Vanderbilt was not moving the football. They were moving the football at just costly turnovers. Late and deep in their end zone. I mean, they had more than 300 yards in this game. Bama had racked up more than 400 yards in this game. But Bama was able to keep those sticks moving. It just felt like towards the end, Bama just was able to inflict their will on Vanderbilt, something Vanderbilt did to Bama last year.
Yes, certainly Alabama has been the aggressor in these last 2 games. They've had more of like an attack mode mentality. Of course, we did see some issues in the ground game. I think there were moments where I was kind of holding my breath, like, if someone gets loose for like a big huge gain on the ground, and you start to wonder, okay, is Alabama going to have some issues? And what I thought was interesting, one thing that was said on the broadcast was that a lot of people will point to the Alabama's defensive line as maybe that is the issue. And I don't know if you heard them say this, but Kane Womack, Kalen DeBoer have said there's an issue in the secondary and just the run fits and not properly reading where guys are going to be, where to be on the field to stop those big gains. And so there were moments where it's like a bend, don't break. I think that's one thing that Kane Womack would say a lot when he was here at South Alabama as the head coach is, even if teams get deep into the red, let's not automatically give them 7.
Right.
Let's not even automatically give them 3. Let's force turnover. They did it twice.
Yeah, and it's part of that swarm defense. And the way he wants his defense to play is almost an attacking style. We want to attack the football. A lot of times when you do that, if you do have a guy that's out of position, one guy out of position can make a 2-yard loss now into a 30-yard gain.
Absolutely.
And that's where, they're saying that, hey, we'll play a bend, don't break style because now once you get inside the 20, that's now 22 people within the small box. And we just think where our guys are better than your guys, we'll be able to make a play. The danger is that if you pop one and a team like that pops one and they have the speed on the outside to score touchdowns, now your bend, don't break turns into just breaking and breaking and breaking. and now you have to play a little bit more on your heels defensively. But I do like the style of defense that they play, and I like the fact that they're sticking to it. They're not changing it up just because Florida State ran for 1 million yards on them, and just like the other teams have some success throughout the course of the year.
Yeah, and sometimes that's hard to do when you are getting a lot of pressure, when you're seeing that maybe your personnel this season is not really matching what it is that you need them to do in the style of play that you want to have. But good on Kane Wame, good on Kalen DeBoer for kind of weathering the storm. A lot of people were asking to have a different look, and they're sticking with what they know. Let's take a listen to Kalen DeBoer after this big win there in T-Town over Vanderbilt.
Just really understanding when it first happened, week 1, that there's one of two things you can do. You can just take it, or you can fight back. And if you are who we are, and we really believe that we have a good football team, then we should only have one option, and that's just to get everything we got and leave it all on the football field. And that's what these guys are doing. And the defense is just doing a good job of making sure that they force the offense, the opposing offense, to play another play. Right, line up. You see the drives. I mean, there was 2 turnovers in the red zone, really, and so forcing them to play another play and just making them earn it. And then our guys again. I mean, we are kind of getting that feeling of takeaways. I think like we did last year. It's starting to come back to us, and the physicality now on top of that I felt we brought today. Again, I thought it was a positive step for our defense.
All good notes there from Kalen DeBoer. When you talk about Diego Pavia, here's what I would offer to the conversation. Every sport, every movie, every aspect of life has to have a villain.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely,
quite frankly, he gets paid a lot of money to play the villain. And so there's a big payoff there. I mean, if you watched the video of him going off of the field at Bryant-Denny, it was on my timeline 100 million times over. And some ridiculous fan in the front row cussing out Diego Pavia and him yelling back at him and all this. Like one, it's what makes sports great. So everybody get your panties out of a wad and realize, like, this is what is great about college athletics. This is what's great about the SEC. And like, this fan's in the front row, probably drunk and cussing at a 27-year-old college quarterback.
Yes.
Like, oh, what more do you want? Like, this is great. Like, that's what you want. And so I don't mind that Diego Pavia said what he said. You just have to know what's going to come with it if you aren't able to deliver. Football is more than a one-person game, Gerhard.
Exactly. But it's so funny when it's the quarterback that's doing it, because your quarterback usually is like your stoic leader.
Yeah.
But it is different for teams like this. And even going back to a guy like you mentioned, Johnny Football. Johnny Football was the exact same way. He was a playmaker, but he was also a lightning rod. And you need these things. You remember Grayson Allen for Duke? He would just, like, a part of watching Duke games and the fun of watching Duke games is because he would poke and prod at the other student section. It would just Marshall Henderson at Ole Miss.
Oh, shoot. I'm like triggered just by hearing that name.
Yes.
It's part of what makes sports great, bro. Like,
exactly.
You absolutely have to have it. I mean, we could put on a list. We should probably put on a list of just some of the sport's greatest villains. And it's part of embracing that role. So when you look at the numbers, obviously, you wonder, okay, what is Vanderbilt now moving forward? And Diego Pavia said after the game, hey, all of our goals are still ahead of us.
And
we have one loss.
Yeah.
Alabama has one loss, and right now there's going to be several 1 loss, some 2 losses, probably not 3 losses, maybe a little bit of a stretch in the playoffs, but it's not like Vanderbilt isn't right there.
No, they're not. And
it was 30-14.
Yes, and for the longest time, I mean, they had shots to win this football game. I think if you're Vanderbilt, you have to be feeling really good. People who really watched last year's game, if you didn't watch it, you might just think, oh, it's a fluke because it's Vandy versus Alabama. No. It was not a fluke last year.
It wasn't.
And people make fun of the Birmingham Bowl rings. I did too. But to me, it could be a stepping stone to what is they're trying to build in the future.
Yep.
And yes, Alabama now looks like where I thought Alabama would be throughout the course of the season. They dropped big time in the polls. They've done nothing but improve since then as it relates to the polls.
Yep.
But I think with Vanderbilt, they are now proving to themselves, hey, we are and can be one of the best teams in this league. And I think this gives them nothing but confidence moving forward because, as you said, 1 loss is not punishing anymore now with this new wave of college football.
No question. And they're going to get tested really, really quickly. Of course, LSU, Missouri, Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee. The SEC is so strong top to bottom, and we don't even know who's at the top and who's at the bottom anymore.
Right.
Quite frankly, I mean, Texas just lost to Florida, okay? And Billy Napier, although I don't think this saves him, this is certainly something that like right now, what is football? If anyone has that answer, if anyone really knows what the hell's going on, if you could let me know, that would be great because I'm very lost.
You can do the same thing. You can do the same thing in the NFL right now because the NFL there is such parity, and we've talked about it in college football as well. There's such parity. There is no dominant team. There is no just.
So you probably should not be
juggernaut.
betting on games. Is all I'm gonna say about that.
Hey, unless you get a good number. Unless you get a good number, and whew, you know what? Talk about. I'll give you 10 seconds for a second.
Patrick, we need you.
Watching that football game, Bama was up 9. I want you to go back and watch that last touchdown. There was a lot of crowd cheers there. I think a lot of people were holding tickets that said Bama minus 10.5. They were up by 9. It was like, please get a score, because you knew Kalen DeBoer was not going to kick a field goal there and just rub it in.
Yeah, sure.
So the only way that they would be able to score and cover that spread is to run that touchdown in. Watch that game back. I'm telling you that decibel
There was
meter
more. You mean in
10.
Bryant-Denny Stadium?
Yes,
There was more energy.
yes.
Not just in the local establishment that you were standing in.
Exactly.
But was it there too?
It was there too.
Not just from you, but from others?
Oh, from others, yes. I was 6 decibels of a 100 decibel day, because, I'm telling you, it was doing sports in this day and age and betting sports this day and age. Man, the margins are so razor thin, and the odds makers are so good at handicapping football games.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at my 2 slips that I had from college football this past weekend.
What were they?
A couple of awful beats. I mean,
you can't just say that so ambiguously and expect me not to ask.
Clemson jumped out to a 28-3 first quarter lead.
Yeah.
And the over was set at 48. I'm like, dude, I'm feeling great. And then it finishes at 48.
Oh, that's
no one scores in the second half.
That's your
Man,
boy. That's your boy.
Bad
Bill.
beat 1.
Yeah, but that's your boy Bill Belichick. They don't have an offense over there.
Yeah. That's your GOAT, actually, Bill Belichick.
It is my goat.
It's your,
who's
it is
slowly going down as time goes on. But
Man.
no, I think I had the Vanderbilt Alabama over.
That's a bad beat. That's a bad beat.
That was a bad beat.
That's a bad beat.
I stayed away from the spread, though.
You had the over.
I had the over.
Oh, you had the over.
What was the over?
The over was
50, 52?
52.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Well,
Feels bad, man.
I did not have to lose any money. I just watched the game and enjoyed it. I went to the pumpkin patch.
Nice. How was that?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. We picked out 10 pumpkins because my 3-year-old said we needed 10.
10.
Count them, 10.
lot.
And now they're all over my porch.
Are you a carver?
Oh, I mean, yeah. First of all, I'm a toddler mother, so absolutely,
like a
I'm
good
a carver.
carver?
I
Like,
mean,
are you like-
no, I'm horrible at it. In fact, you know
oh.
what? We should do this when it is Halloween week. We should absolutely have a pumpkin carving contest, and so we can all submit some great pictures. I have a strong feeling that Patrick's fiance will probably outdo everybody.
Oh,
in
yeah,
this
he's
room.
going to outsource
I just have a
his.
feeling. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm not gonna
He
outsource.
won't do it. You will.
I will do it. I
Really?
will do
Okay.
it. Yeah.
We're gonna take that as a commitment.
I'm gonna beat
So
you.
listen,
All right.
I don't know about that.
Mine's better.
But all I know is that if sports are more fun to watch if you do not have money on the line. You don't have to worry about it. So y'all can take my advice, or you can keep living.
I'd argue the complete opposite.
Gotta live life on the edge.
I am more engaged in games I would have no interest in.
One of those
if it
things.
was
You don't learn
Tuesday
as you
night
go.
action.
You don't learn as you go. Y'all are ridiculous. All